Okay, so quick movie review for Absolution, starring Nicolas Cage and some other actors that I don't know, which is actually kind of cool. It's cool. Actually, well, two actors I recognize. The other guy, that he has a very distinctive, face. I think about the albino rat. It was like a henchman, the Flush Away movie. They had one rat that was albino, and it's like a henchman, the rat. Or even I don't know if Planet of the Apes has an ape like this, but there's some like an albino, like the guy, has got white hair, and I don't know, he just gives me like albino vibes for some reason, like an albino person. Um, I don't know who he is. I don't even know what the actor's name is, but he has a very distinctive face, and he's in it. He plays Liam Neeson's boss, and he kills him like towards the end of the movie. This is unique. This film has a kind of a unique premise, actually, because when I read the little synopsis, it didn't mention anything about sickness, and I'm glad it didn't, actually. Or if it did, maybe I kind of glossed through it, so maybe it did. I don't know, but he wants to get out. He wants to retire, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a John Wick. Like, they won't let him. He's killing them left and right because they won't let him retire. But no, this film is the opposite of that, is it? Because it's more like he's in denial of his his cognitive decline. Because he was a boxer. This guy was a boxer, I guess, before he became a gangster. Or maybe he was always like, we know that his dad, because he had these dreams. It's also, I guess, his mental decline too, actually. Because he's having these weird, vivid dreams. And then there's this scene where he has like sleep paralysis almost. And his father and him, like, he says to his dad, like, that where men like us go to the bottom of the water where it's cold and dark and murky. And it sounds like that he came from a broken home. So when he meets that woman, that we see her one last time, and he told her, you need help, and I guess that's the goodbye, right? And she said, well, you are helping me. Because and it's funny how they I guess maybe because they jumped straight to the sex part, that was the instant connection. Because it could have just been, he punched that guy, he punched her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend now, and then she comes out to say, hey, walk me home, and like it the whole way it worked. But I guess it worked out because she's broken like him, right? She's also well, I guess with him, he's broken. Yeah, he's definitely broken. He comes from a broken home. His daughter, his son's dead, for crying out loud. Because he was probably like, it's just a whole broken family dynamic here. There's no mention of mom. Mom is perhaps, dad, just like the daughter, how she had baby daddies. Dad had, he was a person to fodder children out of wedlock with multiple women or something, right? That kind of the same dilemma, right? And it's this pattern that goes on. He works for like the dude. He has his mattress business, but it's a front, and really, I guess they're in the business of moving contraband. They're out in the moving business, but it's just a legal moving business. And I think the dad maybe was in it too. He's like chaperoning his son, and he mentions this to the son. You have to learn to not want to look what's inside, what they're doing. You gotta keep, turn the other way and keep it to yourself. That's what you need to learn to do, and not this oh, what's happening? I want to know what's happening. No, and that's not how it works, And and that was kind of cool, that aspect of the film where he's chaperoning the son, and I guess feeding him, teaching him, and the ropes of this business. And he even said his dad, because his dad is his boss, right? It's Liam Neeson's boss, and he tells him how is he doing? Is he doing well? What pointer does he need? Any pointers or something? And there's always this common thing in reality, in people's realities, when we will say we're okay. He tells him is he gonna get there? And he says he's fine, he's all right. I guess towards the end, his son was there on his side, by his side, so I guess he did sort of kind of get there in some way, in some regard, I guess. It's what was I gonna say? Yeah, I like that aspect of the film. I like when the cop was falling behind. I guess they look suspicious, maybe. So it was like just self evident. Like those cops come behind us for a while, and you told him, listen, that cop's got to come around. You better get your head down because he's got to take a good long look in here. If he sees you're nervous, he's going to stop this truck, and then we're going to find out. And this is kind of funny. So I guess the people were sedated because when we arrive to the location, they open it. There's women inside there, and they start going crazy and berserk, and one of them goes to the edge. And that one that says, hey, help me, he actually goes back to the house to visit her. And when we get that one scene, it's sad. It's a sad moment, actually. It's a sad moment in the film. So something has to go down when we see that she's dead, because he asked the guy, he said, listen, this is 10, I think it was, oh my god, he was going to give him $30,000, and it was 10, I think it was 20, right? 20. I think she did say 20, yeah, like $20,000. He was gonna give him $30,000 in cash for her freedom. And we're thinking, oh, maybe maybe he particularly likes that one. This guy just wants to be difficult because he treats people like commodity, and this money being offered for the person, I would think he would just give the person away. Maybe, I don't know. I guess what can you think with someone that even does that type of business? This guy works in like the fish market as like a front, I guess, too, as well. It's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, that happens. And what was I going to say? I was thinking something in my head. Yeah, she's dead. And it's like sad. He said, oh, or two of the people, something like that. Like, oh, the Johns that had her this night, they were a little too rough. And yeah, she's dead in a bathroom. Just laying there. And he says, what are you going to do with her? And he just says casually, oh, I don't know yet. But yeah, that's why you can't have her. You were over here protesting, you wanted her. Well, let me show you why I'm saying no, you can't have her. And yeah, she's there and she's dead. And so Liam Neeson's character just loses. He's like, well, fuck it. There ain't nothing to live for with this, right? And so he goes on his little like crusade here. He frees them. So that was something honorable that he does. But this action is just like Joker style. Gets stabbed. Upset with Joker style, he dies there in the house. In this film, we can't have that. We have to have. But then we get this awkward kind of scene where he calls the kid in, his grandson, because his grandson saw his father angry. He was about to hit that woman. That I even asked her to come with him to the dinner. So I guess it has a nice impression. Like, oh, okay, grandpa's not alone. He's with somebody, and a more inviting sort of atmosphere, I guess, for him. But then of course they never show up. This is kind of funny, right? The daughter does stand him up. The daughter is that what? Yeah, stand up. The daughter stands him up on that family dinner invitation. It was like a fancy place too. You can see it. I mean, he does the criminal underworld activity, so he's got I guess he's got money floating around. He drives an old car, an old classic muscle car. And I like his house. I like that it's devoid of decor, and it looks old and run down. But it's a rental too. We learned that fact. And he could park his car right by the house, but he doesn't. And it's also like on his hill in the neighborhood. It's so like, I'm curious where. I'm now going to look it up on IMDb to see where they filmed this, because the shots, and I guess maybe even the filter they applied to it in this New England. I'm not quite sure where we are. We're like in the proximity of New York City, but yeah, it's just really nice. This place is by the water, and this home, it looks old and dilapidated almost, and I like the vibe of the setting for this home. It's spacious too. It's kind of spacious. And then across the street, because he goes in, I guess he breaks into that one house that has like this blue wind chime, and it looks abandoned too. It looks like nobody lives in there. And he's like imagining a guy playing guitar in the house, and it's like quite vivid that we think, oh, maybe there is a guy really playing guitar in the house, or just some person, but there's nobody there. And like I said, this neighborhood is like dead. There's like nobody, like no life here. It's just, wow, my god, it's like depressing. But anyway, it's what was I thinking? I like when he, she's like she's very forthcoming, right? That woman that he meets, I don't even remember what her name was. I don't even know if we ever got her name actually in the film. Loop, I guess, because they call her Loopy, but she said, no, that's not actually my real name. And kind of think of it, I'm not even sure we ever get his name. We definitely do get his name. I want to say we do, because other characters have to have used it. I don't remember. And then he has a relationship with Trey. He tries to form a relationship with his grandson because his granddaughter is like too small. One thing I like about the film, I think I mentioned it earlier. The mom has, children out of wedlock, and then the two children are from different race fathers, right? I like that aspect. And say, okay, that's kind of cool. I thought maybe it was gonna be like, how do you call the daughter had the kids, but it was like maybe the same man. But no, actually that makes sense. Like no, she was broken too. She probably was like, and she smokes, and like, yeah, this feels just about right. It's a broken person. Her dad's broken. Her brother, we know he died from the overdose. I like when he calls her to talk about like the rudder, and he wasn't even aware that he died. Oh my god, that's how like disconnected the family relations are. Like he wasn't even aware that she died and she passed away. And yeah, it was sad. This movie has some sad moments. I like his performance. I think he did a good performance with like the memory loss, not remembering shit, and I guess the frustration that can come with that. His character is so frustrated and it's so bleak. There's action in this film, but it's not much. But this film is like it's, I think the Google said action thriller or something. This film has some action, but it's mainly like a drama, slow. It's, I guess you could say it's slow. It's a slow burn. It's a drama. There's moments in this film where I feel like you can hear sirens in the background. There's moments in the film where it feels like the script was lacking. Like there was nothing even put towards it in a way, in some sort of sense, because sometimes in this film there'll be a moment with like, and I can see it, I think it's an ambulance is coming around somewhere near me. Or there's a hospital nearby, so it makes sense. Well, no, it's definitely coming down this way. What was I thinking of in my head? Thinking of something. Yeah, like the moment when he gets his son, he says, not his son, but like his daughter, his stepson, not stepson, his grandson, and he's talking to him about, oh, you're gonna hear some bad things about me, just be heads up and like be aware of that. Like we get that moment in that film, and it just felt kind of like, does it say anything meaningful though? Not really, I guess. But we can't have him die in the kitchen floor. So let's have him drive. But then what is he gonna drive back to the house? But like, we have him drive, and then he'll hit the kid, talk to him very briefly on kind of nothing, and then die in the house across the street from his rental home. I don't know. It's I'm curious what other people have to say about this film. I don't think this film's gonna be like a wide reception, I imagine. I think it's more, this feels like a film that could have maybe been a Phantom event, or it's like something, a streaming film. It's a film that ideally should go to streaming, because I don't recall seeing any advertising for this film at all. I wasn't even aware that it even existed. So I think this film, it's like a film for streaming that came to theaters for some reason. Maybe because it's got a big name actor, Liam Neeson. Like I said, that's the only actor I recognize in this film. I don't recognize any of the other ones, except for the other guy. But I don't know. Oh my gosh, how big that other actor is. But yeah, this film, it's not bad. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.